Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. It's your girl, Sonia McQueen, with It's Your Life. What are you doing with it? So, today I want to come to you and talk about butterflies and grasshoppers and frogs. I want to talk to you about complete metamorphosis. That's when um, something goes through a life cycle of 4 stages. It's usually the egg, um, larva, the pupa, and then it becomes an adult, right? So we know a caterpillar starts off as an egg and it goes into this caterpillar, which now they're saying stay away from so many caterpillars because they're poisonous, but eventually it turns into a beautiful butterfly. Or we see that a frog starts off as an egg, then it turns into a tadpole, and then a frog, and you get the point. So those life cycles, the 4 stages they go through, is called metamorphosis. Yesterday, I was listening to a song by one of my favorite singers. I wish she'd come out with something else, but Kelly Price. And at the beginning of her song, she starts off talking about a butterfly and how it started off as a caterpillar. And while I was listening to this song, I got lost in my own thoughts. You know how that is. Somebody is talking to you and they say something, or you're listening to something, and suddenly it makes you think of something else, and you kind of tune out what you're hearing and go with your own thoughts. That's what I did. And although humans don't go through a metamorphosis, I want you to just walk with me and use your imagination. As I say, we go through our own metamorphosis, right? We start off in our mother's womb. We start off as an embryo. We turn into a fetus, or it might be the opposite way. I don't know. We come out, we're a baby, and we're crying and we're moving and we grow. Our bodies physically change from being that cute little baby to a little toddler to uh, preschool to elementary, middle school, high school, into our adulthood, right? Let's forget about our bodies for a second. The metamorphosis I'm talking about is of our minds. So we start off, we're naive, we're green, and we watch our parents and we emulate some, if not a lot or all of the things our parents do, because some people have these parents they want to be exactly like, but then some of us don't want to be anything like our parents. And so we mentally have to challenge our own thoughts. We have to look to better things and we have to grow. We have to change from the environment we're in to grow into something better, something bigger. I had a board meeting, and my husband was telling the board a story about how he grew up and how his brothers were in the streets. They were robbing people. They were bad. From little kids on, they were bad, in and out of the system, in and out of the system. But how both of them just changed into these better creatures. They started off, they're from the as they call it hood, I call it ghetto, but they are from the projects. And they were a result of the environment around them. But my husband went another way. He wasn't a result of the environment he was in. He grew out of it. He didn't grow with it or into it. I hope that makes sense to you guys. He went one way, his brothers went another, but they all remained close. They remain family and loving and caring about one another with no judgment. But they went different ways. His brothers, in my opinion, they had not grown out of that first stage, that second stage actually, of, you know what, this environment isn't good. Let me reshape my mind to go another direction, as my husband did. So you go through that stage and you have to figure out which way you want to go. Do you want to go to college? Do you want to just get a job out of school? Do you even want to finish high school? All these are thoughts a young person has that they have control over, because once you get a certain age, your parents can't continue to tell you how to live your life and what to do. You have to think for yourself, right? So your mind has been growing over these years, and it is evolving and it is changing into the person you're going to become. Now, here's the great thing. That person you're becoming might not be a great person. They might be lost. They might be making bad decisions. The blessing in that is, once again, you can change. Your mind can be warped into another way. You can see things in a more positive light and say, aha, aha, that wasn't the route to take. Let me go down this other street. It's like a fork in the road. You have 1, 2, 3 prongs in this long road. Pick one. Pick one. And if it's the wrong one, it's okay to reroute yourself. Turn around, get on another. Listen, you're still a caterpillar. You're still a caterpillar. So, you know those valleys I talk about so much, and you're already familiar with them, or those mountains you're trying to climb. I don't care where, either it's a peak you're trying to get to the top of, or a valley you're trying to climb out of to get on solid ground. Either way it goes. You are going through these stages, and you're wondering, why me? Why do I keep falling in these valleys? Why do I keep getting stuck on the side of this mountain? Why are things not going right for me? It's your opportunity to open your mind. It's your opportunity to make some drastic changes. Maybe you keep ending up in a valley because you're horrible with money and you keep wondering why you can't make your rent, but you're not paying attention to the fact that you ate out 5 times the last 2 weeks, and you went and bought, maybe you have a habit, you went and bought some weed, or you went and bought some liquor, or your friends wanted to go hang out and go to a concert, so you want to go. Your family's planning a trip and you can't afford it, but you want to go because you don't want to be left out. You're not putting in account all the money you spent that you could have said, I can't do it this time, y'all. And you end up in this valley and you're wondering, woe is me. You're singing those words, but you're not realizing these are learning experiences. Quit calling everybody asking for money when you've got to learn to manage your money. That's all you have to do. And once you figure that, once that light bulb goes off, aha, you're changing. You're changing. No matter what think about it. Put yourself in any situation. You're bad with money. You have an anger problem. You lie a lot. You're a thief. Whatever it is. One day you stop falling in that valley. Oh man, I got caught again. I got caught. Why am I in jail again? Why am I this? One day you change. You guys, that can happen over and over. You can stay a caterpillar for a long time. You can stay a caterpillar for decades, or you can stay a caterpillar for years. Nobody stays a caterpillar for months. You know why? Because you constantly grow. You constantly grow. And right when you think you're finna turn into a butterfly, you fall into another valley and you're a caterpillar all over again. You're just remaining. You're remaining because you have to go through these valleys to get to that beautiful butterfly stage. You have to. It's a must. It's a must that you figure out your direction. Nobody comes out of the womb, turns into an infant, and they're on this perfect path. If they were, they wouldn't even be here. None of us are perfect. We're all imperfect, and we all hit our head. We all put up with something we shouldn't have been putting up with. We all do things we shouldn't be doing. And then one day you have that aha moment and you realize those valleys that used to be so deep and they used to just knock the breath out of you. And you're just tired of trying to climb out of valleys all the time, or those mountains you're trying to climb and you're just hanging, dangling from a rope on the side because your arms are so tired of pulling yourself up to get on top of that peak. They have become little bitty bumps in the road. You can just step over. It doesn't matter where you are, on top of the bump or on the side of the bump. You're pretty much focused. It doesn't take the breath out of you anymore. You see the light even when you're on that platform. You see the light. There's no woe is me anymore. There's, oh man, I messed up, but let me go ahead. I know how to fix this. And guess what you are now? You're a beautiful butterfly. You've learned. You've went through the mental process, the emotional process, the spiritual process, the physical process, whatever, the financial process. You've been through it all. You're that beautiful butterfly now. And here's the really great thing. Maybe you're only 30 years old and you finally get it. And you have nowhere to go but up. And there are no more valleys. You see what you used to call valleys as learning experiences. You don't sit and cry about them anymore. You don't call people to complain about it anymore. You've learned to handle your money. You've learned to stop lying. You don't do it anymore. You're not a thief anymore. You got tired of going to jail. You know how to speak to people properly. You don't have to yell. You don't have to curse. You don't have to speak to people in a demeaning way. You're more secure in yourself, so you treat people better. You're a beautiful butterfly. And if you get the concept early enough in your life, you get to fly high and soar and just be beautiful, and people can admire you and want what you have. I don't mean financially. I mean that spirit, because you're walking around in true grace. You're walking around in true favor because you got it. You're not 80 years old still trying to figure it out, still wondering, why am I on the side of this mountain dangling? Why am I stuck in this valley? Nope. You're 30, you're 40, you're 50 with lots of life in you. And you're finally like, aha. The only way I was in those valleys is because I was putting myself there. Nobody else was putting me in a valley. Nobody else has that kind of stronghold, firm grip in my life. The Lord wasn't putting me in those valleys. I was doing it to myself. But I figured out how to push myself through, how to pray myself through, how to believe in myself through this. And look at me soar. Y'all, don't stay a tadpole until you're 80 years old. Go ahead and figure this stuff out now. Figure it out. Figure out why your valleys are so deep, why your mountains are so high, so that you can be just on that little bump in the road. I don't have any valleys. I don't have any valleys. Something goes wrong, I'm like, let me think about this. Let me figure out, let me talk to my husband. Let me make this one phone call to a friend, or just let me pray. Because I'll be damned if I am going to allow myself to wallow in self-pity and then say, woe is me. I'm living for my todays. And so I cannot tomorrow be worried about what happened today. I need to figure it out right now and think of what other direction to go in, or how to fix what I'm in now so that tomorrow can be just a much better day, and learn from what I did today. There's no more living in all my yesterdays. That's been done for me. How about you? Are you still wallowing? Are you still in valleys? Are you still dangling on the side of a mountain? Are you still a caterpillar? Are you still a tadpole? Are you still larva? Get it together, you guys. You know, tomorrow honestly is not promised. So you don't want an unpromised tomorrow to be held back from an unfinished today. Finish whatever you're going through today to the best of your ability. Think of it in a positive way, how to change your situation, change your actions, change your words, change your outlook, change your outcome. You say it's easier said than done. It's easier done than said once you train your mind right. Believe me, I used to be a person who thought that's easier said than done. But then I grew up and I became a butterfly. I'm not going to become a frog, y'all. I'm not. And I'm not a grasshopper or a fly. You know, flies are disgusting anyway. I'm not a maggot that turned into a fly. I am a beautiful butterfly. And I'm soaring. And I just want everybody around me to soar as well. It's your girl, Sonia McQueen, with It's Your Life. What are you doing with it? You can hit me up at Sonia M at ledbymotivation.com or ledbymotivation07 at gmail.com. Have a beautiful day on purpose, butterflies.